All right, Wizardians, welcome to this stream. We've got a bit of an unofficial kickoff and some pretty exciting things to run through today with one of our good friends, Shill Bill, who's going to be giving us an epic technical analysis on things today. So, Shill, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, man. Can you hear us all right?
Oh, mate, loud and clear.
Hey, good man. Good man. Good to have another fellow Aussie around. Partying hard on a Saturday night like me.
Oh, mate, you know what it is, right? Crypto never sleeps, neither do I. But yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about Shill Bill.
Yeah, cool, man. So I'm one of those classic cases of people that tried to get into Bitcoin in 2010, 11. Probably bought some for the wrong reasons. Never really got in too deep. And then 2016 came around. I was lucky to be early enough a little bit to the party there and sort of got in before that first 2017 bull run. Like most people, I guess, at that point, I didn't know what I was doing at all. Sort of lucked into that massive bull run that we had, and didn't take enough profit in the 18 crash. Spent the next couple of years pretty much just learning TA and understanding markets, economies, and things like that. When the pandemic started, I got into gaming. Always been a gamer, loved playing video games. Yeah, so I found Lost Relics. That was the first sort of blockchain game, and from there got into Axie, became manager. Just got myself really deep into the whole breeding manager thing and the whole play to earn model, but also have just watched all the, I guess, mistakes being made across the whole sector over the last sort of 12 months, and as the hype's faded, just watching, what's been happening. And at the moment, I am the economy guy and play to earn person over at mech.game, which is launching hopefully start of quarter two if we can get it there. Didn't realize how long things take before I actually joined the team and started doing it. I realized how long this stuff takes now. Yeah, that's pretty much where I am here. Had a look at Wizardia a little while ago. Like the idea and of the one token and basically a PokerStars kind of model. Final Fantasy VII, I love playing that game. I think it was the first game I bought when I was a very young teenager. Yeah, very much enjoyed that style of gameplay. So yeah, that's pretty much about me, man. The Arena Genesis NFTs, I guess, were one of the first things that I was looking at. I did play a lot of online poker back in the Chris Moneymaker days, back in the early 2000s, and I did watch that whole industry like really explode. That's one of the things I watched someone else's look into Wizardia was the PvP battles and the wagering system. What we're looking at with PokerStars is two people put an entry fee in. Let's say it's like $1 each, so the $2 prize pool. The company would then take a percentage rake of that. So the winner would win, $1.90 if it was a 10% rake, $1.93 if it's a 7% rake. That's how PokerStars made their money, and that model worked amazingly well. As daily active users increases, right, PokerStars are going to make more money because there's just more games where they're creating more rake, and they take a percentage of that. And that's what I saw here with Wizardia, that they were going to be taking a percentage, but then they were also chopping that percentage up with the Arena Genesis NFTs. I guess looking at this, as your daily active users increase, the more money there is to pool and split up between those Arena Genesis NFTs. These NFTs is betting on that Wizardia is going to do well in the future with their own revenue model, right? Because this is the way that they were going to make money. So if this is where the team was looking at making money, like between here and marketplace sales, it's like buying a bit of equity of Wizardia essentially. And I like that model because I've seen it work plenty of times. I liked it because it was a long-term, completely passive set and forget, right? This is not a quick, I'm going to ROI in 15, 30, 90 days. This is something that as long as Wizardia, continuing to have players and daily active users, whether that's growing, sort of stabling out, even decreasing it at times, it's not something that you have to be active with. It's a pretty good bet if you believe that these guys are going to be gaining active users and still operating in the years to come. This is not for the Genesis NFTs. It's a standard sort of look at what an ROI looks like in play to earn. It's 200 days at Y, then at 2 ways, it's going to be 100 days, right? You're going to be able to get your money back twice as quick every time that daily average users does double and the player base increases. So essentially, you're backing the team succeeding, and the more they succeed, the more holders of those NFTs will succeed as well. For anyone who is not sort of familiar with the two token model, if you think of Axie Infinity, that's probably the easiest one to look at here. The two token model consists of the one token that was supposed to be a utility token, and that was what was earned in game from playing. And then we've got a governance token, which I put in air quotes. Everyone called it a governance token, but I didn't see much governance from many of these projects for that token. That whole model, we've seen it fail multiple times. It's because at some point there runs out of demand and need new people to come in. So it is basically that classic Ponzi model where you need new money to be able to feed the old money. And once the new money dries up, then it's a race to the door for everyone to get out. If you got a utility token that is listed, it needs to have utility. Otherwise, people have nothing to do with it. And if it's the same token that you're giving out as rewards, if there's nowhere for a player to spend that inside the ecosystem, the first place it goes is to Binance or a DEX and just gets sold for USD, which is something that can be used.
I can see what you've written here, what you'd love to see at Wizardia for Wizard. Number one, more utility for token in game. Something I do want to remind everyone is that we are still in our public alpha testing version. We're going to have more utility. We're going to have tournament entry prizes, tournament entry, a whole lot more things in essence, which we'll discuss shortly, which is really going to give utility for that token. And, as a result, hopefully bring up the price.
And as you grow that daily active users is what we were looking for from the very first couple of slides with, we saw as you have more daily active users, those Genesis NFTs may be worth more money. So Web 2.5, in essence, what we've seen is that Web 2 gamers don't want blockchain transactions. A lot of Web 2 gamers kind of boycott Web 3 stuff for now, but these are the people that we're trying to bring in. Web 3 and crypto gamers initially wanted everything on chain until they started having to pay gas fees. And then people didn't want that at all. They started whinging about the gas fees. They whinged about, this is me included. Then I started paying ungodly amounts of gas fees. But it's more the clicking of the MetaMask that really annoyed me. I did 19,000 transactions for Pegaxi on the original wallet, and then I moved across to a Trezor. And then realized I didn't want to have to click. I burnt through a Trezor playing Pegaxi on the buttons because I had to click so many times. Off-chain also bypasses some regulation and roadblocks in mobile integration. So by having things off-chain, it's basically the same as having like an in-game gold in any of these other games that you would play. A lot of the Web2 people just want to jump in and play the game, and I think a lot of them would be very interested in the asset ownership itself rather than the whole play-to-earn sort of mechanisms that we've seen over the last 12 months. Like the Web 2.5 is just keeping everything off chain that doesn't really have to be there and just making it a lot more accessible to sort of Web 2 people that are a little bit, new to crypto as well. But you can see how many transactions, right? So 46 million transactions from all the racing games. All these games were like every time you had a race, you had to, click MetaMask. Like you can see how many transactions were happening. And this is just annoying people. Literally every click is just annoying someone. Web 2.5 in essence, from what I understand, is that it's going to be backed up. So you're going to have your in-game token, so you'll be able to do things inside the game with Essence, but they'll be backed up at a fixed ratio to Wizard. So as long as that's backed up to match the Essence that are in circulation, so if it's a 1-to-1, if in everybody's wallets there is a combined amount of like 1 million Essence, there has to be 1 million Wizards sitting in a wallet at all times. When I went through it, I don't see why it wouldn't be 1-to-1. You might be able to have like 10-to-1, and then things cost like a fraction of a Wizard. Less transaction fees for all players. How much can we take off chain so people don't have to click? And you see heaps of people talk about that when they used to do a lot of retail and online stores and things. It worked out to be like one extra click in the process to get to the checkout would like drop off like X percentage of sales. When it gets like that little bit too hard, people are like, nah, I'm done. Bypass mobile restrictions. This is where I really think Wizardia is going to do really well. I don't know if that's where you guys are going in the future. The way the game is, being able to bypass a lot of those restrictions by not having to deal with sort of MetaMask and transactions and wallets, and just get you to that place so much quicker. You could do the swap and get a bunch of these Essence tokens, and you would then be able to, wager until they've gone. If you're winning in the PvP, then like you would only have to have a certain stack, and you could look at that as kind of like a bankroll as well. So you do the one swap. You've got a bunch of these Essence tokens. They're going to be backed up to Wizards, so you can take them at any time. And you can do as many battles as you want, because otherwise, if you were doing this with Wizard, you're going to have to do at least, I would say, 3 clicks. By doing this with Essence, you can essentially just keep a ledger of this off chain and then batch all those transactions across, once every day, once every week. And that's what we're looking at for doing ourselves now at MEC, and just makes life for the team easier, frees up time, capital, and manpower.
So there we go, guys. That really wraps us up for our session today. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.